stiff. Sasnowski's coming in here in better shape.
Boxing's not a bodybuilding competition. Orthodox fighters on both sides. Sasnowski lands a right hand. Typloosion ripping to the ribs, Zach.
He's going hard.
A lot of pocket fighting from both guys early. Sasnowski, big jab that pushes Typloosion back.
Sasnowski using his length advantage here to tee him up with the jab.
Typloosion hiding underneath the arms. Now trying to rip to the ribs.
I like him trying to work inside. I think that's a valiant strategy here.
Not really a lot of educated pressure from Typloosion. That's a nice jab from Sasnowski.
No, and if you're Typloosion, you want to come in here off a taunt or a feint, you know, maybe an angle change. But he is swinging wild.
Pat Typloosion might have gotten cracked right there as he retreats to the ropes. Sasnowski, a couple right hands downstairs, and once again the Boston Brawler just stumbling into the pocket, Zach.
I would like to see the Boston Brawler's previous 8 opponents.
Devin just threw the green screen at us here at the commentating table. The blows aren't just in the ring tonight, Zach.
They are not. I got hit in the head pretty good, but I will soldier on.
Typloosion having a really difficult time with that reach and length of Sasnowski. But look at that, couple good connections.
I think Sasnowski's poise here is pretty impressive. He's keeping him on the outside with his jab. Only his second fight, just started training in October. So for that limited amount of experience, I like what I see.
Typloosion walking through all the damage, but he is certainly getting touched up here midway through round number 1.
Yeah, that lead hand has been really effective for Sasnowski here. He's almost able to just wait and see as he's coming in.
Once again, Typloosion rushing right to the center. Sasnowski sticking him with that jab. Then the right hand coming over the top. But in moments like this is where Pat Typloosion's doing his best work.
Yeah, you'd like to see Sasnowski, you know, get low, maybe get his head.
Oh,
the Boston Bomber.
Look at this.
Big time shots here.
But Sasnowski wears it well. Now trying to march forward. Pat Typloosion swinging hammers. Left hand up, stop, connects. Another one. Sasnowski unable to get his head off the center line, Zach.
The body language from both is very interesting here. Sasnowski doesn't look turned on. He doesn't look switched on for this.
Typloosion avoids that right hand offering. There's a left from the Boston Brawler. And a right. But there doesn't appear to be a high level of technique. It's just resilience and pressure from Pat Typloosion.
No, as this fight goes on, it's going to come down to who wants it more, as there isn't much technique or experience here from either men.
That was the longest first round, I think.
I enjoyed the action.
Now, if you're in Jason Sasnowski's corner, what advice are you telling him?
I would tell him to maybe wake the hell up, you know, throw some cold water on him. When he's exiting out of the pocket, he's like got a glazed look in his eyes as if he's not in a fight, but he is.
Composure works both ways, could either help or hinder you. If you're in Pat Typloosion's corner ahead of this second round, what are you saying?
I would say to keep the aggression and to keep throwing that big-time left hook, because that was definitely his best weapon in the first round.
Kavonna versus Jazz up next. Cannot wait for that one.
And as these rounds go on, it'll be interesting to see how the experience of Typloosion, you know, plays into effect here. He's got 8 career fights. He's talking to us, I think.
Can't hear what he said, but I love that his energy is sustained through a round of boxing. Kid's got character, I'll give him that.
Kid does have character.
Just bowed to Jason Sasnowski for a round. You still look too late for that, maybe. And again, Jason Sasnowski dealt with so much of this energy and trash talk from Typloosion. You have the opportunity to earn some payback, right? Sasnowski, go give it to him.
He's trying to go give it to him, but he's just lacking the tools and the refinement that you get, you know, as you train in boxing. He is green. Typloosion here almost falling over.
Again, Sasnowski finally moved the heads off the center line, avoids a big right hand.
Yeah, a very valuable weapon with the length discrepancy here would be the uppercut, but I'm not quite sure he has that in his arsenal yet. Sasnowski appears to be a bit frustrated with the constant clinching from Typloosion. Yeah, but you need to keep your hands up at all times, and you need to be switched on. You can't have these moments where his hands are down, he's looking a little bit bewildered because the Boston Bomber's going to be trying to come at him.
Several left hands connects. Now Typloosion once again just winging every shot, all energy. No breaks, no technique needed for Typloosion.
No, and I like that he's going to work inside. I think he's got the better strategy and game plan here, and it's clear what he's trying to do.
Another jab from Sasnowski, but he just retreats in a straight line. Now Typloosion looks like he's hurting Sasnowski.
He hit him with 3 clean right hands upstairs. He definitely felt those.
If you're Sasnowski, I mean, pivot and throw the shorter fighter into the ropes. Don't just eat these shots.
Absolutely no defense to speak of. He is just eating these shots.
Typloosion, non-stop energy, a wrecking ball heading to the ribs of Jason Sasnowski. I mean, he threw that all the way from Houston, Texas.
You would like to see Sasnowski counter him there. I mean, he's totally over his front foot, totally off balance. I think anything would have knocked him down at that point.
Another left hand connects, and now a combination from Typloosion.
Really no defense to speak of here from Sasnowski as Typloosion keys off on him inside.
There was a good right hand and a nice duck to avoid the left from Patrick, but Jason Sasnowski, like you mentioned, Zach, just looks turned off in there.
Yeah, I haven't seen him switch on like he's in a fight. I'm not sure what his adrenaline's like or what his warm-up was, but I would like to see him a lot more in it. Sasnowski
eats another right as Typloosion rinses and repeats.
These punches are coming at him, and there's no reaction with his head movement or his body or anything like that.
Jason Sasnowski called Typloosion light work and said that this fight is going to show what happens when he trains, and respectfully, Zach, I'm kind of left with a lot to be desired here.
I am as well.
Round 2 comes to a close. Round 3 up next, and for Jason Sasnowski, he is once again in a position where he needs a stoppage.
Yeah, and it's a bit disappointing because as the fight started, he was working that jab, and he had a good amount of success with it to where, he wasn't, the Boston Brawler wasn't able to get in on him, but as the fight's turned on, he has gone away from that jab and is really lacking activity.
And Typloosion in this third and final round, I mean, only thing left to put a stamp on this one is just keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. You need to get in his face, you need to work inside, you need to keep going to the body, and that left hook is open all day.
Now this becomes the question, is cardio. Who do you think is going to have the better gas tank in this final frame?
Well, if you look at the two, you instantly would go to Sasnowski, but just viewing them in their, stools and seeing their body language, I would go with the Boston Brawler.
Third and final round, Typloosion again just pushing Sasnowski to pivot and throw the shorter fighter into the ropes. Don't just eat these shots. Maybe there's an element of some rope-a-dope from Sasnowski, likely unintentional.
Yes, but he does look more switched on in the previous round, which I like. Landed 3 clean strikes there, which he's going to need to do in order to eke out a decision here.
Mouthpiece pops out for Typloosion. A jab from Sasnowski, but it is just this sustained pressure and volume that is forcing Sasnowski backwards.
Yes, and his game plan has been obvious from the start, and he's been able to implement it effectively here.
Moments like that, Jason Sasnowski has nothing but opportunity to offer a counter and simply does nothing.
I would agree, absolutely, Ben.
And Typloosion, listen, there might not be a high level of technique associated with this performance, but it is pressure, it is delivering on what he promised he would do.
Yes, and he's got a 7-1 record, and he's looking to make it 8-1. Just landed 2 more clean strikes, and he's got a lot of heart, a lot of determination, and he knows what he needs to do in order to close that gap and win these fights.
Now Sasnowski trying to charge forward, but Typloosion clinches up and pushes him back.
I tell you what, Pat is giving him no time to breathe, no time to rest. He is all action.
This crowd is incredibly pro Pat Typloosion. They've got to be pleased with what is going on here. It is just fists and fury from Typloosion.
Pat is walking straight in. No remorse for his opponent. Nothing fancy here, just sheer grit.
And a little bit of head movement from Typloosion on the exit there. Trying to bring Sasnowski on.
Some taunting as well.
And I think for Jason Sasnowski, this fight is maybe an indicator that competition should wait. Maybe dedicate some time in the gym. Get some really educational, hard sparring rounds in before trying to take another fight, because I'm just not really impressed.
Yeah, and I would agree that if he's unable to switch on, then maybe boxing isn't the best sport for him. Which there's nothing wrong with that. This is what we're here to see. We're here to really find out who has the potential to be on a Misfits, to really make a splash in this crossover boxing scene.
Typloosion pushing, throwing, hurling himself at Sasnowski. Final 10 seconds. Sasnowski firing back.
Shades of Eubank Ben earlier today.
Yeah, you think so? Maybe if you're Stevie Wonder. What a fight from Pat Typloosion. I have to commend the relentless volume. I mean, this kid was nonstop. You might look at him and think, hey, he doesn't have a gas tank, but no brakes on the Typloosion train.
No brakes, and it's ironic because he hit the sleeping emote, but he wasn't sleeping in this fight. He was definitely
throwing, hurling himself at
that first bout. Great job, fighters. Good work for it.
Meghan Markle forgot to grab the judges' scorecards. That's okay. Who needs them?
And now, the winner of our first bout in the red corner is